how far have you gone for beauty?
I would say, I mean, I wouldn't do anything that's going to like jeopardize my health, but I try a lot of things even when they're brand new. Like, I'll just try it. So I put a lot of time and work and money into how I look.
When it comes to cosmetic procedures, how far have you gone with cosmetic procedures?
I've done pretty much everything, what plastic surgery to um things like old therapy, which is like expensive on your face where they basically burn your skin. And I'm now partnered with Goals Plastic Surgery, so I've been doing M-Sculpt, and what's new is wood therapy. So I just heard of wood therapy, and when somebody says something, I'll look it up and I'll be like, okay, sign me up.
When it comes to your YouTube channel, care to share your YouTube channel handle, screen name?
YouTube, everything, all my social media is /Sarah So Oliver. I like to keep it simple.
And what do you generally post on your YouTube?
My YouTube used to be Bad Girls Club reviews, and then I started doing more DIY. Like, I build decks, I basically built my whole house from ground up, front yard, backyard, inside. I pretty much do everything. Like, I can build a whole fence. Like, it's crazy what I can do. But I've more so transitioned it because I just did, of course, a TV show, and I put my first book on YouTube. So, yeah, there's that.
When I've had a chance to browse your YouTube, I've seen some of your older YouTube videos where you have stories about yourself, like, how you were when you were in your teens and jobs you had in the past and things of that nature. Um, but I never saw anything in regards to your body on it. Sometimes people on their YouTube channels take their subscribers on a journey with them, if they're doing a procedure or tinkering with their body in some sort of way and they're open and honest about it. I didn't see any of that on yours, so I don't know if when it comes to cosmetic procedures you're open about it as well with your followers or if that's something you're more so private about.
So, I actually just don't say for instance, which is why I quit doing DIY, because when I do it at home, it's more of a relaxing meditation type thing, and me having to record it and edit it. I have so many videos and things on my phone that I never put on YouTube. It takes away the enjoyment from actually doing DIY. And things that I've done with my body, I'm not going to promote it unless they're either doing it for free or paying me for it, because when you get things done, it's more of a mindset of being clear-minded, going in, recovering, being healthy. So I may put a little something on an Instagram story, but to actually film it, it's like my mind needs to be prepared to heal, not about entertaining the world.
When it comes to your body as far as plastic surgery, care to share what you've gone through?
So I've done, and have I ever talked about it? I don't think so. So I did years ago. It's crazy because a lot of people think that I have fillers in my cheeks, and I actually really have no cheeks whatsoever. It's pretty much like my bone structure because actually I did my ancestry DNA. I'm 32% Japanese. My grandma's full Japanese. So I'm very shaped like my grandma. But one thing that I did, which was before it even got popular, and it's actually not even popular to this day because people don't know about it, is I had buccal fat removal, which they take the fat out of your cheek line, which gives you a more angled look. And I mainly did it for one, I didn't like my cheeks being so big and my face being fat, but I would always bite the inside of my cheek. And even with it removed, I sometimes still bite my inside of my cheek where you feel like the line on it. So I've of course done lip fillers. I'm obsessed with lip fillers. I did my titties twice. I've done old therapy on my face, which is like a laser treatment. So it's very unnatural, but it tightens your face. I now do M-Sculpt on my stomach, so it's an extreme shock where it's almost like cheating to not go to the gym. And I mean, I do M-Sculpt on my butt and then wood therapy as well. So it kind of, what it does is it moves your fat to your butt. So they can virtually push fat from your like sides and back down to your butt, and then from your thighs up into your butt. So it really makes it, it just makes it look completely different. And within a couple months, like you noticed, which is crazy because my friend just had a BBL and it takes like a year to heal from that. And if you have fat in wrong areas, you can put it where you want it.
What about as far as your teeth?
Oh yeah, I got my teeth done. I got my teeth done. People have been asking me and I just never even talked about it, but I got my teeth done earlier this year. I think like, I got it before my TV show? No, after my TV show. I think I got them done in March. My bodyguard had his done. I was looking at his mouth. I'm like, you ain't got your teeth done without me? So then he took me to his people, and yeah, I love my teeth. I've been wanting them for years, and I know it's kind of dumb because I had nice teeth, but I mean, like I said, I'll sign up for whatever.
Care to share? These are veneers.
Um, so people say veneers and lumineers are like the same. I didn't have my teeth filed down. If I want to go have these removed, it'll be my natural teeth. They didn't etch them, shave them down or anything. And they're made from porcelain and zirconium. So it's kind of like cubic zirconium, but it's actually stronger than porcelain. So they can, I don't know how they'll remove them, but yeah, they're supposed to last 5 to 7 years. Probably wasn't the smartest decision because like, who knows what you're going to do in 7 years, but I really like them.
And as far as your eyesight, ever had LASIK or anything of that nature?
No, I need LASIK though. I can't see far away whatsoever.
When it comes to procedures, surgical procedures as well, everything you just listed, that's all the things you've ever had done to your body? Are we forgetting anything else?
So this is kind of cosmetic, but it's not. I had vein disease before, and if you see certain women that have busted veins on their body, it's called sclerotherapy, where they inject like some sort of solution to get rid of those veins. So I have vein disease, so I've done it on both my legs, which got rid of the veins in my leg. But then now I haven't done it because only certain doctors do it, and my plastic surgeon doesn't do it at his office, which is a vein under your pelvic bone that most people don't have. So I have like busted veins on my butt, which I can't stand. And when you do sclerotherapy, not only is it expensive, but it's more so of like how you think of a tree. Like if you don't cut the tree at the bottom, then branches will continue to grow. So it doesn't matter how many times I get rid of these with sclerotherapy, they'll come back until that vein's treated. And I haven't been able to find a doctor to do it. So I don't know, it's super frustrating.
But that is something on your list, I'm assuming here.
Yeah, that's definitely on my list. And I want to get my molars done too. So that way they're all white and all capped, and you don't have to worry about cavities ever again.
Now, I do want to piggyback on a few things you've mentioned in this conversation, this portion of the conversation. You've had your breasts done twice. Why 2 times?
So even almost 2.5. So the first time I was really young, I was 18 or 19. I got them done, like I saved up money, got them done as soon as I got out of high school. Well, then a couple years later, I had a lump in one of them, and my mom's sister died. I always thought she died of breast cancer, but she had breast cancer. They removed it, and then she ended up dying at the age of like 30 for, I think, kidney or liver cancer. It was something unrelated. So I had it tested, and when they test it at a biopsy, they basically ultrasound you. They take a needle and they remove part of it, and I had a big indentation in my right breast. So I guess I was being impatient, and I didn't really care for the ones I had before. I had saline, and they were like a smaller implant that was overfilled. And at the time, I had seen girls with ones that I liked better. So what I did was I was like, okay, well, I already have a spot removed. I don't want to wait for this to heal. I'll just get new ones done, the ones that I wanted, which was silicone. And it's crazy because they're bigger, but they look the same size, only because they used a bigger implant. And I tell girls that want to get their boobs done, always get a bigger, rounder implant so you can have side boob and then cleavage at the same time, and then have it less filled because they look more natural.
You said 2.5. Are we forgetting a
Yeah.
half?
Okay, so when I had, no, it was the second time. So I had the silicone, and one of them healed lower than the other. So what they did was is they just went back in the same incision and they put a couple stitches in the side, and that's what grew the pocket back. So it's kind of like a half, I guess, because I just had to go. I mean, I had to get anesthesia, I had to go under the knife and heal all over again.
And I also want to tie up a loose end when it comes to your ancestry. You mentioned you're 32% Japanese. What is the other out of 100% that you found out you are?
So it's changed a couple times, like over the years since I got it, but mainly it's Slavic, British, Irish, and I think just Japanese. I think it was those main four. And my dad always talks about how he's 1/8 Cherokee Indian, but I don't know what that comes up on your ancestry, but I don't remember seeing anything like that on there. But everybody on my dad's side does have like very dark Native American looking skin. So I'm not sure.
I know the Japanese is 32%, as you mentioned. Is that the most dominant out of the other three that you mentioned,
Um,
or is one a little bit more
so
dominant than the Japanese?
gosh, the way the Russian is breaking up, it's kind of weird, but it seems like when you add a couple of the Russian together, it's more Russian over Japanese, but Japanese has the largest number in itself, which is kind of weird because if my grandma's 100%, you would think I'm 25%. So I guess I got part from my dad's side that they don't know about, or maybe DNA is not 50-50 down the middle because I look a lot like my grandma, which is different because my mom doesn't and neither does my sister.
When it comes to the Japanese, that's on your grandma on your mother's side.
Yes.
What about the Russian side of you? Is that from your father's side?
Yeah, so it's partly from my mom because I think my mom's pretty much 50-50, Japanese and Russian, and then my dad has a good bit of that in him. And then, of course, he has all the other stuff in him, like British and whatever else was on the list.
You also said that some of it's changed over the last few years. What did you mean by that exactly?
So with Ancestry DNA, I've gotten emails where they're like, oh, we found out something new. We found out, and then they'll change a little bit of your percentages. Like when I first did it, there wasn't British on there, but then they randomly said I was like 11% British later on. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, and who's to say how accurate it is?
In your personal gut, what do you think the accuracy of Ancestry.com is? I think that's what you used. What
Mm,
does your personal gut say, your intuition say on how accurate it is?
I would say it's about 70% accurate. I mean, they do know what they're talking about a little bit because, unless they're just looking you up and making up numbers, which I doubt it. I don't know, it could be somebody really smart on Facebook and looking into your family and just charging you $100 and sending you whatever. They don't even check your whatever you send in, blood, spit. I don't even remember what you send them.
Now, I do want to ask you some final questions in regards to the different things that you've done to your body, just overall speaking. Um, when it comes to cosmetic procedures, what did this entire experience teach you? What did you learn from all this? Again, overall speaking, just your experience with cosmetic procedures, surgery, invasive, non-invasive, everything you've gone through in regards to your body. What did you take from that?
I mean, it's quite expensive and time consuming. And would I go back and say, oh, I don't want to do anything? Like, no, I feel like I've had a pretty good experience with everything that I've done. So, yeah. And, some people be like, oh, you look prettier then, you this and that. But if you actually go back, I look way prettier and younger now than even 8 years ago on my first TV show. So I wouldn't change like anything that I've done, but it is quite expensive and it does get, I guess, addictive.
Speaking on the addictive side of things, when do you think that addictiveness kicked in? Was it after your first procedure you ever had done to yourself, or does it take a couple procedures where this addictiveness starts to build up?
Well, it's hard to say because I have an addictive personality. So when I made the decision, I want to redo the inside of my house, 2 months straight, I just redid the inside of my house. Same thing with my backyard. I do the same thing with shoes. So it's not necessarily plastic surgery because tattoos, piercings, I've always been an addictive person. So if I get one thing that I like, I'm more than likely going to get 4 more. I didn't even know what Hirachis were yesterday. And I went to the store to get 1 pair and I ended up buying 5. Like, that's just how I operate. It's crazy. I bought 3 in the store and 2 online. Now I got 5 pair in one day.
Now, are you the type when it comes to having 5 Hirachis, speaking future, of course, are you the type of person that, okay, you got 5 of these, but it's always one that you end up using or wearing? Are you that type of person?
Yeah, the black and white ones are probably going to be the pair I wear all the time, and the other ones I'm going to wear once. And question, you might know this. So I looked it up because my friend was talking about the shoe, and a lot of people in fashion say the wrong word. And when you look up the pronunciation, it says Warachi, and the reason is because it's mimicked after a Mexican sandal. So is the correct pronunciation Warachi? You're shaking your head. Do you know the answer?
Well, I'm shaking my head just agreeing with you
Yeah.
as to this question that you have. I personally don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But maybe someone in the audience does. So we'll ask them and tally up the results in the comments section.
Yes,
So
and when y'all Google it, you're going to go down a rabbit hole because there's so many different ways that I looked it up that they say it.
If you truly know the answer, drop in the comment and sound it out the correct pronunciation of this phrase here. Now, when it comes to the time you've spent on cosmetic procedures, the money you spent on cosmetic procedures, whatever that amount of money you spent was, whatever amount of time you spent in it, was it worth it?
Yes.
Now, I know you said that you feel like you look better now than you did when you did your first show. But do you miss any of your natural body parts? Do you miss your natural breasts when you had them? Do you miss your natural teeth at all when you had them? Things of that nature. Is there anything natural
No.
that you've had fixed that you look back and say, I do miss?
Not one thing. The only thing I regret doing, which it's not a cosmetic procedure, but it's cosmetic as far as your looks, is that I used to be addicted to piercing. So I've had virtually everything pierced. So if you look on my face, I actually have holes all in my face. I have so many holes in my ears, but that was like more so in my goth stages. But other than like actual plastic surgery, no.
When it comes to any of your cosmetic procedures, was there anything you wish you knew before you got any of them?
No.
Now, circumstances could be different for everybody, but generally speaking here, any tips, any tricks, any advice when it comes to cosmetic procedures?
Don't try to get a discount, and not only go somewhere where they have good ratings, but go somewhere where you like the doctor and you trust them. And it sounds crazy, but you pretty much need to have some sort of chemistry with your doctor.
Are there certain signs or hints that there is chemistry between you two?
Just if he's listening to you and you feel like you're not like rushed and you feel comfortable talking to that person. Because before going to my surgeon, his name's Dr. Feldman, I was 19 and I tried 4 different doctors first. 3 were actually at his same office, and he was the very last one. And for some reason, I was just like, okay, it's you. Like, I knew it was him. And since 19, so that's 17 years ago, I've only gone to him, and I've sent a lot of people to him. So it's just so, like, feeling a connection, I guess, with that person and a level of trust.
And it's a natural gut feeling for you? It's like an intuition?
Yeah.
When it comes to this particular doctor, what procedures did he do exactly on you?
He did breasts, buccal fat. They did microblading eyebrows. They did, laser hair removal. I mean, I've done countless things there that I don't even think about, like sclerotherapy, the vein treatments. Um, yeah, I've done a lot of things over there.
Anything else you want to mention or question I didn't ask people want to know when it comes to cosmetic procedures? Generally speaking here, once again.
So one thing that people are afraid of getting plastic surgery done, and some of it does have to do with your body, but I think a lot of it has to do with your mindset, and then of course taking care of yourself. So when the doctor says to do certain things like detox or getting rest, and people think like they feel fine 2 days later, it's like an absolute no, because I promise you, like, that going out in 3 days is not going to be worth what happens in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's more so about taking care of yourself.
Are you scared of anesthesia at all?
No.
Now, let's say somebody's watching this, and whether it's a cosmetic procedure or not, they have to get anesthesia for the very first time in their life, and they have to go through that. What do you tell someone?
So there are places, say for instance, Goals Plastic Surgery, they don't do anesthesia that puts you to sleep. They do it where, I don't know if it's considered local, but you're wide awake. You just can't feel anything. And they will do a full BBL on you when you're awake for people that are scared of like completely going to sleep. With me, I don't know. I'm like a mind over matter type of person. I do believe when you believe things so strongly, you can like create things in your own world. So if you're completely scared of like going under anesthesia, then I wouldn't do it. It's just never been something that I thought about. I just always think like, oh, I'm gonna take a little nap, I'm gonna wake up, the surgery's gonna be great, and that's what's gonna happen. And then that's always what's happened for me. So, I mean, I guess if you're scared of it, just don't do it, because you might be putting a death wish on yourself.
When it comes to the different types of anesthesia, you've done both. You've done the anesthesia where you've gone to sleep, and you've done the anesthesia where you're wide awake, but you're not, everything's numb, you're not feeling the pain.
Yeah, so when I got my breast done, completely knocked out, buccal fat removal, you're awake. And then that laser thing on your face, you're awake, but they put some weird gas that you're breathing the entire time to where you don't feel anything.
And was that an option for you, or that's just the only, I mean, when, the ones where you're numb but you're awake, was that an option, or?
That was just what they said they do, and I'm like, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, it wasn't something I chose.
I see.
But going back, I mean, there's probably no way in the world they can do an augmentation like that without putting you to sleep. But when I saw my friend do her BBL under the anesthesia where you're awake, if I had the choice and I saw how she did it, I would definitely do it that way, because apparently you can heal a lot faster. So for you not to have to go fully under, I would definitely make the choice to be awake.
What does that feel like going under, and what is being asleep, and what does that feel like where you're wide awake while something's happening to you? What procedure is being done to you?
Okay, so the going to sleep thing, it sounds crazy. It's not like you, okay, so I have a very active mind, so I dream a lot. And it's the only time where it's like you're virtually dead. Like you don't remember anything. I just know as soon as you remember the shot, you feel it, you hear them talk, and then you just wake up like nothing ever happened. So it's just a weird feeling you can't explain. When I was awake, yeah, it could be. So like with my cheeks, say for instance, there's like a thing of fat, so they cut you open. I didn't feel that. And when they were pulling, it was just like an uncomfortable feeling, because I watch YouTube videos, so I'm like, oh my God, they're like pulling it out of my face. And then when they really pulled hard, I could feel it like pull up in the top of my face. So it's just like a uncomfortable, like somebody's ripping fat out of your face. Oh, and see, I don't be remembering, I did threads, so that's kind of cosmetic. So what a thread is that they put this thing in your face. I think they do it in your body too, and it has like a barb. So if you put the little screws in the wall for something big, and then you put it in the nail, and then it pops open. So these threads go. They put a needle in your face. They shove the thread down into your cheek, like from here to here. And then once it's there, they just yank it up and it pops open. And what it's supposed to do is pull your skin tighter, and then your face is supposed to like build collagen around it. And I did that twice, and it was very expensive, and I don't really feel like it worked. And it was painful. And the way it pops, like that's what you feel in your face as it's doing it. It's kind of gross.
When it comes to going under anesthesia, is it always a shot? Do they ever give you anesthesia like gas form instead of the shot?
I think it's just a shot.
So even the one where you're awake and something's happening to you, that's a shot also?
Oh, so the one awake,
I know you said something about gas. Maybe that was a gas one?
yeah, so I think they gave me shots first and then gas too. So I think it was like a numbing shot and then gas. And then where they're like basically frying your face, that one was all like gas. And then like a topical numbing cream.
When they ever give you the shot for anesthesia, does that hurt?
I've had a lot of piercings and tattoos, so nah, you just feel a little prick and then that's it.
But when they're actually injecting the anesthesia, the medicine into you, does that actually hurt?
I think it's just, I can't remember if it's like cold or, I don't remember.
Okay. Shots don't bother you.
Shots, needles, none of that bothers me. So yeah, I'm not a good person to take advice from in that. I'm very pain tolerant.
Have you always been like that from the start?
I would say yes, because I started getting piercings in middle school. And the whole earring thing, it's kind of like gross, but this boy, he was like, let's pierce our ear in class. And I was like, do it. He's like, no, I dare you. I was like, no, you do it first, right? He had a safety pin. I'm like, this can't be like sanitary. He was like, well, we'll go home and both of us come back with our ears pierced tomorrow. I came back, I had like 15 safety pins going up one ear and I think 8 in the other. He didn't even pierce his ear one time. I was like, really? His name was Tony Hughes. And I was like, you really set me up. I remember he got infected. I had to switch him to earrings. It was it was bad. But I was like, don't dare me to do that. And I think a week later, I came to school with like 3 safety pins in my eyebrows. So yeah, I don't know. I don't care.
Okay, can you explain that? The safety pins, like, did you put the safety pins and dip it in boiling water or anything like that? Are you taking an ice cube and putting,
Okay, so we didn't have Amazon or anything back then. So now you can like actually buy a piercing needle and the jewelry. You couldn't do that back then. So I think I just got safety pins and put it in rubbing alcohol. Maybe I even like lit it on fire and then did rubbing alcohol. And then I just stick it in and then close it shut. I don't know what I was thinking.
And you would do that on your own. It wasn't somebody doing it for you.
No, I did it on my own. And I remember I tried to do my nipple one time and I almost passed out. And then I never got, like out of all piercings, I've done everything, but I've never done my nipples after the one time attempting.
You've literally done everything, just not your nipples.
I've done everything, yeah.
And when you say when you were attempting to do your nipple, that was with a safety pin as well?
Yes. Yeah. I don't recommend it. Nobody do this. Like, don't do it. But yeah.
And for time reference, it's October 2021 now. Okay, I want to ask you this. I'm just double checking and making sure I asked you all the questions there I wanted to ask. I did want to ask you one more thing. When it comes to cosmetic procedures and surgical all that sort of jazz there. I know you stated when it comes to advice and tips and tricks, and I think I asked you, and you said something like, "Don't take discounts." Why not discounts?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that you don't want to play with. You don't want to get it on Groupon. If this is a doctor you like and they're doing a special, then of course you should do it. But to look for something at a discounted rate, you should either wait until you have enough money and go where you feel comfortable going. I wouldn't just go because it's serious. Like, you could die, you could be botched. It's just not worth the risk of getting a discount.
What about when it comes to some people stay in the United States and get their procedures done? Some people go out of the country.
So I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people that have a great experience going out of the country. Me personally, I wouldn't want to. My friend wanted me to go to get my teeth done with him out of the country. And I was like, well, what if something happens and then we're stuck there? And I just never wanted to fool with it. So sometimes out of the country, you get a better job done and, of course, cheaper, but I just wouldn't want to risk it. I don't know. I don't feel safe like outside the United States for real. So, yeah, it's questionable.
So, who actually did your teeth? Because I think in the interview you stated that you went to the same person as your security guard, but if he wanted you to go out the country and you ended up staying in the United States, was it a different person you ended up
So,
using?
yeah, no, my security guard did his actually. Yeah, it's South Atlanta. So that's why when he got his done and he got it done by somebody he knew, I was like, yeah, I'm going. Before I had a fitness friend that wanted me to go. He actually, sometimes those people out of the country will come to like Miami and they'll do a whole bunch for the week. So that's what he ended up doing. But he originally asked me to go out the country and I didn't. And then the guy that I'm dating, he mentioned us going out the country and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then of course, when Cal, my bodyguard, got his done and I found out it was local, I was like, okay, sign me up. And then I just went like the next week and I got him done.
And I wanted to ask you one more thing. Oh, um, I know you said don't do discounts, but have doctors, uh, plastic surgery places offer you procedures for promo? Not even a discount. They're offering the service for free based on you advertising for them or you doing something in return for them where it's not monetarily a cash transaction type of thing.
Yeah, so I do promo for goals actually, and that's why I've been doing. I never heard of Sculpt. So when they originally reached out to me, I joke with Judy. She was on Bad Girls Club too. I joke with her all the time because I was like, we came in for laser hair removal. Why are you getting a BBL and I'm getting like Sculpt and wood therapy? So I built a really good relationship with them, and I really love them. And one thing that they did offer me, which I'm considering doing, but honestly, the results from Sculpt and wood therapy, the rate it's going, I don't even want to do what I was originally asking for. So I was asking for two things, and one was a spider butt lift, which I randomly came across it. They put all these needles in your butt in a spider web. They literally draw a web on your butt and they put like hundreds of needles on you. And somehow these little barbs do something and it makes you grow collagen or fat in your butt and it lifts it up. So I wanted to do that, but then I found out that it's more so of girls who don't work out. You can't be muscular and fit because it's creating to make you more firm and tighter. So that was a no. And then I found out you could do Sculptra in your butt. So Sculptra is normally a injection that you put in your face, and it's a little cheaper when you get it in like your butt because they're using so much of it and it's not like in, such a risky area. But then I found out once again, that's more so of girls because it'll make your butt grow. But that's more so if you're like super squishy and you don't work out. So he said it's not going to work. It's just going to make my butt like super firm. I'm not going to like it. And he said what I could do, because there was like areas I wanted it to be more plump where I feel like it's flat over the years. And I actually talked to a girl there. I think I know why it's flat in a couple spots, which I'll tell you. So he said what he could do is lipo my thighs and put it in my butt. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I don't want to have skinny thighs. He was like, I see a note right there. I could take that right out, put it in your butt. And he mentioned if I gain weight that they would do it. So I was considering gaining weight to have the fat taken out of my thighs and put into my butt where I wanted it more round. But then I found out about wood therapy, and it has fixed my problem like a good 75%, I would say. So I might just do wood therapy a couple more months and see how it goes. But it made like a huge difference in it. And what I'm thinking is like how you sleep on your butt. I mean, it's just natural with gravity. Of course, your titties and everything are going to sag. But On mine, there's like a couple spots that are kind of flat, and I realized it's in my arch. So here's my arch, here's my butt, and if you're sleeping 9 hours a night, it's just constantly pushing on it. So with wood therapy, I've kind of been able to fix it. But yeah, I do everything with them on promo, and it's like the best thing ever.
And when it came to promo with them, this is something that you ask them or suggest, or they bring this opportunity to you?
They actually brought it to us. They asked me and Judy if we wanted to come in, and they said, "What do you want?" And I said, "Laser hair removal and some weird facial that they said they did." And when we came in, they were like, "Well, do you want to try M-Sculpt instead?" So we both got M-Sculpt done. And then Judy was talking about her stomach. She's like, "Well, I want to do lipo." And I'm like, "Bitch, if you're going to get lipo, then put it in your butt because you might as well not waste the fat." She's like, "No, I don't know about all that." I'm like, "No, bitch, you're getting a BBL." So it went from laser hair removal to her getting a BBL. And then I'm going to get M-Sculpt and wood therapy religiously now.
When it comes to the expense of procedures that you've had to shell out money for, um, was it always you spending your own money on it, or have there been times maybe a significant others contributed to it, paid for it as a gift or an investment into you?
It sounds crazy, but I've actually paid for every single one. All of them.
Has a significant other offered to pay for a procedure for you, invest into your body, so to speak?
I think like my ex would joke, like he would buy me nice gifts anyways. So he'd be like, "Oh, I'll pay for your lip injections because you're going to go to work with those." Just something stupid, but not actually pay for a procedure, no.
Ever calculated how much you actually spent on your body,
Mm,
cosmetically?
no. It's probably a lot, but no.
Would you even want to take a guess at it?
Mm, I mean, I would say easily 50,000.
When it comes to, this is my last, I've asked you so many questions about your body, but I have one more for you. Do you feel like you've received more opportunities or have been more successful in your career since the cosmetic procedures?
So, I mean, I started getting what my first breast job was when I was 19. So, even before getting into the industry, I didn't start doing entertainment until maybe 21 or 2. So, it's pretty much been the entire time that I've been in the industry, but 100%, it definitely helps. It helps with money, endorsements, like taking care of yourself, with men, opportunity. I feel like it helps with everything. I mean, it might could also say, for instance, I'm doing acting classes for scripted television. In that sense, it actually could be more harmful because there's more regular looking people without anything done to their body in the Hollywood industry as far as like regular television. So, what I've done, it's been helpful, but it also has maybe put a block in some other things that I wanted to do.
Now, is that an assumption or a hunch, or has somebody in the acting industry actually said this to you?
I would say it's an assumption. Yeah, I don't know. Nobody said it to me before.
And again, I've asked you a lot of questions about your body. Just because I've asked you a few more questions, after all the questions I've asked you, is there anything else you'd like to say, you may have forgotten to say, when it comes to cosmetic procedures?
Mm, I don't think so. If you want to do them, then do them. Don't listen to other people.